If you're ever going to see a win for Manchester United, 2 goals, 3 points, back in the Champions League chase, sure. But if you're ever going to see a performance from Manchester United that shows that results aren't enough in isolation, I think that game right there is it. Man United somehow making a 2-0 win look uncomfortable for the majority of the game. Alejandro Garnacho was the difference maker in a game that did not have much Premier League quality from either team. We're lucky that we played a team there in Everton that hadn't won the Premier League since December the 16th. It really, really showed. But let me just put it back. I'm going to go into a full review of the game and say, great, 3 points. Banging. We needed that. My word, it's not unsurprising that we are a team that can't particularly score that much, a team that can't particularly create that many opportunities because we haven't actually got a striker. Bit of a problem. But then Alejandro Garnacho made the difference, and that win there, look, Villa play Spurs this weekend. We are holding on to the coattails of the whiff of a possibility at Champions League football. I don't think we'll get it. I also don't think that the 5th spot in the Premier League will get that extra place this year. But we will see, I suppose. But my word, was that a laboured win. And as I said, if we're going to pull out the deserved man of the match and the deserved spotlight from that game, it was the difference maker that was Alejandro Garnacho in the game that stunk, really, from a quality perspective. Garnacho showed everybody how much of a difference a direct, confident, driving winger can make even in the most disjointed looking football team. Man United going forward there today, we really didn't have much. Bruno Fernandes was playing as a false 9. Scott McTominay was going forward. His balls were overhit. Marcus Rashford, will speak about him later in the game. But Alejandro Garnacho, is he the first United player ever to win two penalties in a Premier League game? And by the way, both were absolute stone wall penalties. Right? No Everton fan is going to be arguing about them, and Everton fans are going to be waking up in cold sweats this season. Hopefully when they get relegated, but waking up in cold sweats for the rest of this season, just thinking about what Alejandro Garnacho has done to them. That overhead kick at Goodison Park, and just it wasn't as if he sort of pulled up trees with that performance today, but in a game where we didn't really have anybody who could hold the ball at their feet, we didn't really have anybody who could drive at a defender. We didn't really have anybody who was looking like becoming the difference maker in that game. And for Garnacho to do that in his 25th consecutive start for Manchester United, and ladies and gents, can we just take a step back and remember this? Garnacho is 19. He is 19. And that's his 25th consecutive start. And without him there today, I don't know whether United would have won that game. Bruno got the penalty, bagged the penalty. Rashford bagged the penalty. I mean, other than that, it was Garnacho who had a couple more chances. One where he was put through. That third goal, the elusive third goal, the third goal that we can never, ever seem to get as a football team. And we didn't get it again today. Luckily, we played Everton. Luckily, you saw a team there who is devoid of confidence. My word, why is nobody talking about Sean Dyche getting the sacked? I don't know. What's that? 11 games? I don't know. Who cares about Everton? All right. 3 points. Brilliant. Premier League is still open-ish for us. I mean, as I said, we're holding on to the shadows of a top 4 chase. And people are going to think that I'm sort of speaking about Casemiro in isolation here, but this is just, I find it so infuriating. And I'm a little bit, no, I'm not annoyed at Erik Ten Hag, but I think Ten Hag could improve that situation. Casemiro there today, look, Paul Scholes, you can see that's from his Instagram up there. Have you ever seen a team give the ball away so much in your entire life? And Casemiro, and I'm not just talking about his first half performance, and I'm not just talking about this performance in general, but Casemiro all season long. Oh, it's painful, man. Casemiro is still very good with the... What's he very good at? I mean, the fact that I've got to pause and say this right now, it's just a real sucker punch. Sucker punch, wrong way to describe it. I don't know how to. Somebody help me in the comments in how I describe Casemiro this season. And people are going to think I'm, as I said, isolating him. I think if you played Amrabat in that position instead of Casemiro, you wouldn't have as many problems playing out from the back with the ball and Amrabat's on the bench. Hardly does Amrabat actually play in that position for Manchester United. It's not as if Casemiro's got the legs to run in behind. Amrabat's a bit slow, yeah, sure. But so is Casemiro. Every weakness that Casemiro has, Amrabat has in parts. But he's good with the ball at his feet. He's good at ball retention. And ball retention was a massive problem for United. It just kept going back to Everton and kept coming back at us. And he got just... As Paul Scholes said there, have you ever seen a team give away the ball so much? It's just... I don't understand, and I'm going to be looking at Erik ten Hag for this one. Why do we persist with playing out from the back? I'm not talking about persist playing out from the back, because I know we're going to be doing that. That's Ten Hag's style. But why do we do it down the left-hand side? Why do we go through Varane and then Evans? I think Varane switched sides with Evans towards the end. Well, actually in the first half. But Lindelof is never going to find a man. And then it goes to Onana, Varane, Lindelof, back to Onana long. Rinse and repeat. Like, why not go down the right-hand side? But you've got Diogo Dalot, who's actually decent with the ball at his feet. He can actually drift inside. Probably more chance of going forward. I don't get it. But it's just... the two transfers that really sum up Erik ten Hag's signings are Antony and the waste of money that Antony was, and the fact that we pivoted from De Jong, who is the first phase king of build-up, to Casemiro, who's the polar opposite. And last season when he was brilliant as a combative or sort of dynamic midfielder, not as that first phase. And he's playing in that first phase role. Kobbie Mainoo would be slightly better playing there. Or not slightly better, he would be better playing there. But Kobbie Mainoo's also got something going forward. It frustrates me. And as Scholes said there, this is 3 points, right? And it was another game, by the way, that Onana, I think, did a very good job. And not many people are going to speak about it. That's the real travesty when it comes to goalkeepers. When goalkeepers play well, you hardly have a conversation about them. It's like, oh, he's just doing his job here, it's fine. But as soon as a goalkeeper makes mistakes, it's like, get the guns out, load up, and unleash. Onana deserves praise just as much as he deserves the criticism, just the same as with every other player. And again, I think he came and claimed a couple of crosses. He's actually putting his parries into better positions. I think early this season it was like parrying and boom, straight back into a dangerous spot. I think he's learning. I think he's adapting. Now I think he looks more confident. I mean, if I'm looking at players who are confident in this Manchester United team, there aren't many of them. But I would definitely say that Andre Onana is one of them. Fair play to him. Another great game. And I think, look, it's not as if we've been great this season. You know, right? There was a stat that happened before. I heard before the game. We are one loss away from equaling our record when we got relegated in the 70s. That's how bad we've been at home in the league this season. But that aside, Johnny Evans, how much further would we have fallen down had he not been here? He wasn't signed to play as many games as he's been playing. But he's probably been our best centre-back. I think I had the debate on the live show. It's between Varane, Maguire and Evans as to who's our best centre-back this season. But Evans just keeps... Look, the fact that we played a very, very poor Everton side made it slightly easier, sure. But Evans, I think, has been one of the reliable players this season, in the season where we just don't have many of them. Bruno Fernandes with that goal today. But Bruno Fernandes, because he was playing as the sort of kind of false nine, we didn't really press too hard from the front, which was good. We shouldn't be doing that. It just isn't working right now. Drop it. But because he was kind of further up the pitch, it ended up being McTominay trying to find the balls through. And he kept over. He had a couple of good ones. One to Garnacho, where I think he should have scored. I think Branthwaite came back at him. But McTominay kind of overhit the majority of the balls he had from that position. Marcus Rashford, you see this, the little celebration from Diogo Dalot coming behind him with the fingers. Not in that way. But Marcus Rashford, he was not incredibly effective today, but I don't think anybody on that team was. And as I said, that performance there today, it's just a real indicator that results in isolation are not enough at Manchester United. It's not enough just to labour 2-0 past an Everton team who hasn't won since December the 16th in the league and get 3 points. Is it? It's not. And this is what Erik ten Hag is going to be measured on between now and the end of the season in progression. It's about Ineos defining where the momentum is. Now, of course, we're playing without Shaw, without Martinez. And Malacia, by the way, is out for the season. We need to look into that. I mean, what happened when there must have been some sort of majorly botched surgery for him to have missed a whole... So even bloody ACL injuries come back injury quicker than that. We'll speak about it all during the week. Sod that. 3 points there today. All right. We're now what? 3 points behind Spurs. We played 2 extra games. There's 2 games in hand against Villa and Chelsea away. Not easy for them. But Villa still 8 points ahead of us, and they've got a game in hand on us. I don't think we're going to get top 4 this year, but at the very least, we've got Alejandro Garnacho.